like this. Typically, when let's go back in time when we had Andy Ngo get attacked, you actually had the corporate press come out and be like, okay, this goes too far. Now you actually have the corporate press coming out and saying, well, the real victims here are the trans activists, despite the fact they're sending death threats to the family of Matt Walsh and planning a violent action, a day of vengeance starting Friday into Saturday and Sunday. I call it a day of vengeance, but now they're saying it's going to be 3 days. They're saying it's still going to be happening.
But this is backwards. I just don't understand this, that it's everybody else's fault that this individual went out. I mean, right now, the person that perpetrated this crime and killed 6 people is being equated to a victim. What is going on? I don't understand what has happened in this country. We are literally less than 48 hours from a major tragedy, and somehow the mainstream media has turned the person that perpetrated this crime, taken 6 innocent lives, into somehow of a victim, and we're sitting around having this debate, and my mind is blown. Going, what is going on?
How old are you?
51.
51. So here's what I think is happening. The older generation that was raised off the internet they have a similar view of the country, be it left or right, liberal or conservative. But the millennials who are raised online are hyper polarized.
Yeah.
So the reason why I think we're seeing this happen is that millennials are starting to take over these industries, be it media or otherwise, and they are hyper polarized. Their world is so dramatically different from your world. As soon as they take the reins of the editor-in-chief position or the executive editor position, start making decisions on how articles get framed or what stories get covered, this is what you start to see.
I think you're right. I mean, that's exactly, there is this dichotomy in the country right now where young and old see the world differently. It's about patriotism, who views the country as patriotic. I mean, the poll that came out the other day in the Wall Street Journal that shocked the heck out of me, 38% of the country views patriotism. And I literally, a bunch of people I knew said, well, I wasn't shocked at this. And I said, you weren't shocked. I get the division. But there was something that I thought united us, and that was being able to say, okay, I'm an American. And I mean, maybe I didn't think it was 70% as I used to, but I thought maybe it'd be in the low 60s, 38%. And I think that you put your finger on it, Tim. This idea that there's a huge divide between whether we grew up with the internet or without it. And that's, and I mean, I see it every day, but I don't know, maybe this is what's manifested, that the idea that you can see a tragedy like this and then say, here's the person who perpetrated it is also a victim. And I was reading some of the statements today and from some of these groups that you mentioned earlier, and they were like, there are 2 victims in this. And I'm like, no, there's not. Yeah. It is never acceptable. You took out innocent lives.
Mm-hmm. It makes no sense why someone, whatever the reason may be, would kill 9-year-olds. Yeah. It just doesn't make sense.
No,
but
or any year-olds.
What the leftist activists are posting on Twitter is that they were future fascists. I'm not exaggerating. Andy Ngo has covered this. They are posting that there are people on the left saying that it's a good thing because the future fascists were stopped. But this is the point. You're 51. When your demographic, when Gen Xers and Boomers are no longer in control of the system, either through retirement or passing on, this country will fall into abject civil war.